Hello, 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 my friends. If you can see me, you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. All right, I can see you. I can hear you. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hope you're kicking off April strong. All right, we're halfway through, right? Yeah, we're a little over halfway through April. A lot of exciting things going on. We're going to be talking with you about how to become a better presenter. I'm excited about this. This is an incredibly high-paying skill. And if you're nervous about it, I'm curious, how many of you are nervous about public speaking in any capacity? Put a 1 in the chat. And how many of you are excited about public speaking in any capacity, or you're not nervous? Put a 2 in the chat. Curious. So we got a little combination of 1s and 2s. Those are all okay. Guess what? Guess what? Most great presenters started off nervous. I was certainly nervous. My, knees were knocking together, blood rushing to my head, and sweat pouring off my face. And I figured out how to do it. You know why I figured out how to do it? There's too much money to be made. Yeah. If I didn't figure out this thing, I wasn't going to figure out part of the money. I was leaving money on the table. So what I love is you're here because I hope you're tired of leaving money on the table. I hope you want to increase your prestige. You want to increase your personal power, your influence, your ability to contribute to other people's lives with your words. Pretty little words change the world. I saw that in a movie once. Pretty little words change the world. Little speeches change the world. We're going to go to the moon and come back. We don't know if we actually did go to the moon.
We did.
Come back. Did we? For sure. Or whatever it happens to be. I saw this movie, and it was about Orson Welles, and it was kind of talking about one of the reported greatest movies ever made, Citizen Kane. And the guy who was Liev Schreiber was playing Orson Welles in this movie. And true story, they created Citizen Kane, and it was about like a parody of the most powerful publisher in the world. William Randolph Hearst was his name. And it was blasting him in this movie. And they finished this movie. And all the board of directors from the movie theater or the movie distribution company brought in the director and said, based upon pressure from William Randolph Hearst, we're going to burn the movie. We're not releasing it. True story. And he proceeds to go. He gave a speech, basically. He did a presentation to all these suits that had made up their mind. We're not doing it. The risk is too high. And they asked him to leave the room, and his agent stayed in the room talking with these executives. And the agent finally comes out and he sits down next to the Orson Welles character and says, "Man, they're going to release it. That was a pretty little speech." And he turned to him and like he was the dumbest guy in the world, he said, "Pretty little speeches change the world." And that's true. Learning how to tell your story can change the world for that person you're telling the story to. Learning how to present, you're going to be able to change the world for your audience. Training somebody effectively, you're going to be able to change the world. Doing a keynote, you're going to be able to change the world of the listener. You know what makes me excited? We got thousands of people all over the world that are on this right now, that are listening. I learned for a long time ago, I didn't come for all of you. I'm glad you're here. I came for the people that are ready to change their life. And it's always a percentage. If I'm talking to 500 people in a room in Budapest, I came for 50. I'm glad the 450 are there, but I came for the 50, and I don't know who the 50 are going to be, and that's part of the mystery. Those 50 are going to change their life, light things up, do things different. So put me in the chat if you think I came here for you.
They're putting I'm ready.
Yeah. So good. That's enough for us to be able to build belief. Okay, so as we start this off, Pete's going to be hosting. Make sure I stay on the reservation because I could go too far, too much stuff. I hope you're ready to take notes. I hope you're ready to take this seriously, even though we're providing this to you for low or no cost. That doesn't mean it's low or no value. It's extremely high value. Learning how to speak and how to influence people with words changed my whole life. I went from barely graduating high school to being one of the highest paid non-celebrity speakers on earth. How did that happen? It's the craziest thing. I get paid $100,000 an hour to speak. Isn't that wild? Can you imagine? They're going to hire you to speak and they're going to give you $100,000 for the 60 minutes. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, you can get it a couple different ways. Somebody could pay you, or you can influence that room so much that it pays you in other ways because they're more productive, they're more successful, they're more efficient as part of your teams. So a lot of different ways that this can help you. So Pete, kick us off.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, I want to remind you guys, I'm going to go through some housekeeping and then we're going to go back and forth today. It's a powerful day with Eric Worre. I'm going to do some housekeeping. I want to remind you of what this is called. It's called the presenter always wins, meaning the presenter always makes the money, because the best presenters get on stage and aren't trying to make money. They're trying to transform lives. And when they transform lives, people want to give you their credit cards. Let me ask you a really important question. Who is somebody in your life that you heard speak, and Eric can be one of them, that has had a transformational impact on you that you said, here's my credit card. I want whatever you have. I want to do whatever you want me to do. Who is that for you? Name a few. I want to see them in the comments. And I know Eric will be on there a lot, but I want to see other people. Yeah, look at all these people. Hey, can we get this room also scrolling to the bottom?
Yep,
okay, there it is.
Got it.
Okay, look at some of these. Who are those?
Tony Robbins, Fraser, Mark Cassetta.
And this is a serious
Jim Rohn, a lot of Jim Rohn.
This is a serious question. Is there somebody that made such an impact on you when they presented that you paid them? If you paid them after you saw them present, write the word paid. I paid them. I signed up for their company. I bought a program. I allowed them to mentor me. I became a distributor. You paid. This is only if after you heard somebody present. Look at all those paids. Here is our goal for the next 3 days in 60 to 90 minutes a day, to teach you how to become such a profound presenter that every time words leave your mouth, one-on-one or one-to-many, people want to pay you because you make a transformational impact in their life in that time that they hear you speak. You'll take those people who said, no way, the story he said, no way this is going through, and literally the words can change the game for you. And Eric came up with the term, I'm going to give him credit for 3 times, and then I'm going to take it and probably trademark it. Non-celebrity speaker is what we're in the business for the next few days. That's what we're in the business for.
Which can also make you a celebrity.
It can make you celebrity, but I love that he said the word non-celebrity, because this non-celebrity speaker makes more money than many of the top celebrity speakers. I've had the chance to be on Eric's stage and Grant Cardone's stage. I made more money in those stages than President Trump gets in his keynote fee, or President Obama gets in his keynote fee. I don't care who it is. Did you hear that? Non-celebrity speakers can get paid, but you have to stop being a best-kept secret. How many of you feel like you're a best-kept secret? Just write the word best-kept secret in the chat. Yeah, a lot of you do, probably. So here's what we're going to do over the 3 days. I want to get us started. Eric, one of the things I want to say before I go through the housekeeping, we did this in April because you were just telling me about retention problems in the profession, which we're not going to get into, how big that is. Mm-hmm. Do you know what a bigger number is? 95 to 98% of people have consciously or subconsciously given up on their goals for the year after the first quarter of the year. We just finished the first quarter of the year.
At least. I mean, it's even faster than that. People started with good intentions and then they're done. You know, they kind of like, oh, another year gone. You know, they start sliding into coma, you know, and they're just going to see what happens by the end of the year. Like, ugh.
Be honest with this. How many of you are behind on your goals? Behind on your goals. Write the word behind. Behind. If you're behind on your goal, be honest with us. Yeah. I guess we could raise our hands too. And usually
I've never been in front of mine. Yeah. Not once. Not once in my entire career.
But consciously, some of you have given up on the year. Subconsciously, the rest of you have given up on the year. And what I'm here to tell you is the next 3 days can completely change the game if you strip everything away and you simply, I've got a powerful video from a celebrity type of speaker at the end that's going to share something with you that you guys are going to love. So you're going to want to stay around till the end of the day. But if all you did is dial in on this one single skill set, strip everything else away, your goals can be back on track in the next 30 to 60 days. So I'm excited. We are presenting, guys, if y'all can bring the slides up, the Presenter Always Wins Boot Camp. Today is day one. I will be your MC and your host. And here's what we want to encourage you to do. Make sure that you stay tuned and find out how you can win an in-person ticket to GoPro in November, or an in-person ticket to our branding day where we're going to freaking brand you like crazy to make you a rock star and a superstar. Those are a couple of the prizes that we're going to be giving away to people who are doing homework. So make sure you hang out for those couple of things, and we'll give you the homework assignment as well. Hey, really quickly, we have our VIPs. We can see our VIPs. This is one of the only times that Eric does Q&A with the mass market is during these challenges. So if you're not VIP, it's $29. Some of you already spent $29 today. How many of you already spent $29 today? Like, be honest with me. Put 29 in the chat, either on Amazon or at Starbucks or somewhere. You've already spent $29 somewhere today. I'm telling you, investing in yourself is one of the greatest things you can do. So if you want to upgrade to the VIP, you get the Q&A with Eric, the Q&A with Lisa, the Q&A with me. You get the full replay access to the entire boot camp. It's the first time we've ever done this boot camp, so you're going to want to have those replays. So make sure you go to presenterswin.com/VIP, and immediately you'll get a link to come join us in this main room.
You know what I was watching? All of you should do that. It's going to be worth it for sure. To be able to up level the skill. I was talking with Pete last night. Metallica just announced a residency here at the Sphere in Vegas, and guess how much their tickets are? Their tickets are $1,500 a ticket. $1,500 for every ticket for one concert, a Metallica concert. It's like, I'm like, and it'd be like people are wondering if they should spend $29 to be a VIP here, like everything that we're like, there's something wrong with our whole society where everybody's going to line up to spend $1,500 for a concert, which is going to be amazing, I'm sure, if you're a Metallica fan. But it's going to be here 1 second, it's going to be gone the next second. And it ain't about the music, it's about the experience, right?
That's right.
Anyway.
I love that. Hey, guys, couple things. If you're VIP, stay in the room at the end. When we're done, 60 to 75 minutes. That's how long we'll go every day. We'll go straight into VIP right after that, and we're going to answer as many questions as we can, so that will be fun. So, hey, listen, here's what I want you. I want to take you on a journey today, and I want you to tell me what you're excited about or what your intention is for the 3 days, because I'm about to tell you what the 3 days look like. And Eric and I want to know what you're excited about or what your intention is. Today is about the 5 presentations that every network marketer should master. That's what we're going over today. Tomorrow, I'll be the lead person speaking tomorrow, and I'm going to show you how to land many new customers and distributors with the presentations that he teaches you to build today. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to monetize that. One-to-one, one-to-many, digital, physical, from your living room or from a ballroom. You're going to understand how to bring masses amount of customers and or distributors into your business tomorrow. So tomorrow's kind of the money day. And day 3, the great Lisa Nichols will be with us. And not only will Lisa Nichols be talking about overcoming the fear of being a presenter, she's going to help you understand what it's like to dial in the power of your personal story. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Eric shared the secret sauce of presenting with me 3 days ago. It's not the 5 presentations are the starting point, but there's a secret weapon that will make your organization explode and blow up. And he's going to be talking about that on day 3. So that will be talked about on day 3. So I want to know in the chat, write in the chat for us to see, what are you most excited about? Why are you here? What's your intention? Set something strong right now so you do not miss a day. We want to see those. And as you're writing those and Eric's reading those, I want to tell you something. Being on Grant's stage changed my life. Being on Eric Worre's stage changed my life, but neither one of them would let me be on their stage if I weren't a good presenter. Mm-hmm. How many of you would love to be on the GoPro stage? How many of you? Write the word GoPro if you'd love to be one of those people
on your life.
It would change your life. Write GoPro if that's you. I want to tell you what, not all of you will win the prizes, but here in about 45 minutes, Eric and I are going to talk about something that I got the chance to do pretty cool with Grant, something that Eric and I have talked about. Every one of you will get the opportunity to have your shot at being on the GoPro stage. And we'll talk about that here in about 45 minutes. But Eric, like he said, he's going into a room and he's looking for those people who are serious. He doesn't want somebody who's half-assed or 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or kind of sitting on the sidelines, or just trying to keep, consume. He wants people to go out and do and take action. So if you're serious today, just write the word serious. And if you're not, don't write it. I'm telling you, don't write it. We want to see who our serious people are, because at the end, you're going to get the chance to be able to do that. And so, Eric, I don't have to introduce you. This man is the godfather of network marketing. He and Network Marketing Pro are the upline to the industry. They want to serve the industry as a whole. And Eric, I'm excited today because you and I are going to work through these. I'm going to ask some questions, and then our VIPs can ask some questions about this. But we're going to be talking about the 5 key presentations. Yep. Hey guys, after I show one, you can take the slides down. But before we go to the first one, what would you want to say about these 5 presentations we're about to go into?
Well, here's the deal. If you can figure this out, it'll change your business. I will tell you, even learning the first of the 5 presentations changed my posture, changed my confidence, changed my activity, changed my results. But I had 2 things happen, 2 different mentors early on. One is I was in a room, and we used to do a lot of live presentations where somebody be drawing circles. You ever been in one of those rooms where somebody's drawing circles? They're drawing circles somewhere. And a person said to me, see that person up there? He said, pay attention to the person up there. I said, why? Because the person with the marker makes the money.
Ooh.
The person who's up there drawing circles, the person who's doing the presentation, pay attention. Who's on your company stage at your company conventions? Who's speaking at your local training? Who's speaking at your regional event? They're all the money people. Show me any super wealthy people in your company that aren't presenters at some level. They have different skills, different strengths, different styles. But I was like, because up until that point, I was happy to be behind the scenes. I was happy just to bring people to the meeting and sit there and be a good soldier. Like, no, I got to get that marker. Like, okay. And then my dad's best friend and one of my early mentors, John Joyce was his name. He said, Eric, if you learn how to speak, if you learn how to persuade people with your words, you'll never have to worry about paying your bills the rest of your life.
Mm.
And I was like, huh.
Write that note down.
Really? So if I learn how to speak, I thought I needed to learn how to sell. I thought I needed to learn how to recruit. I thought I needed to learn how to retain or duplicate or lead. No. All of those things are impacted by your ability to communicate and to influence. Speaking is about communication and influence, causing people to do things that they weren't going to do, see things they couldn't see. We have the ability to take blind people and help them see with our words. So I will tell you before we start, this is a lost skill set in network marketing. We got damaged in like the last 10 years. All of us got tricked. We all got tricked. You know what tricked us? Here's what tricked us. About 10, 12 years ago, it's not a lost skill set in society, but it is in network marketing. And let me tell you why this is such a big problem. Is about 10, 12 years ago, social media showed up. And when social media, at scale, where everybody's like, oh, I'm going to build my business on social media. And face-to-face connection with other human beings faded. If you've been around for a while, remember face-to-face meetings, whether it was in-home events, local events, regional events, all those things? That whole infrastructure, you know what that infrastructure's biggest value was? All those live events? Those live events were a training system for presenters. That's where people learned how to tell their story, how to do an introduction, how to talk about the company, how to give a testimonial, how to deal with questions and objections. All of that stuff happened in the live events. When I came up, they had this structure called every Tuesday. It was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Every Tuesday night, there was an opportunity meeting in my local market. Every Thursday night, opportunity meeting in my local market. Every Saturday morning, opportunity meeting followed by a training. And the evolution for me is I learned how to tell my story first, which I probably wouldn't have done if there wasn't an opportunity to get up in front of the room and tell my story at the end of the presentation. So I learned how to tell my story. And then I learned how to do an introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my friend Pete, who's going to walk you through blah, 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 blah. And then I learned how to give a 5-minute overview of the company. And I learned how to give a 10-minute overview of the products that were available. I learned how to explain the compensation plan in 15 minutes. I learned how to end the meeting. You know how I learned how my meeting ended? Here's how the meeting ended. Ladies and gentlemen, this ends the first part of our presentation where we gave you an overview on everything connected with our opportunity. The second part of our presentation is when you get back with the person who invited you to this meeting. You circle up, you get your questions answered. Then this second part is the most important part of our meeting. So circle up right now, and the different leaders will be around, and they will be helping to answer your questions. We look forward to working with you. That was how I ended the meeting. Instead of goodbye, because I learned saying goodbye to people at the end of the meeting. They left before they got the real stuff done. Right? So without that structure, I'm not sure if I would have learned how to be a great presenter. Without the opportunity to speak on a local stage or a regional stage to tell my story or give a little bit of skill training or something, without the repetitions of training my people the fundamental skills that they need to be successful in network marketing, without that, I don't know if I would have developed. So if you take like a professional sports team, there's how many levels of developmental teams? There's World Cup coming up. How many levels? There's pros that's not in the World Cup, and then there's semi-pros, and then there's college, and then there's high school, and then there's how many levels? That whole developmental structure used to exist in the network marketing profession. When social media and Zoom came out, and then triple accelerated with the pandemic, our farm system was wiped out. Our developmental team was wiped out. So now we either have superstars that are doing all the Zooms. They're the same people speaking on every company stage for forever. And then we have absolute amateurs. And we don't have the in-between. What I want this to be is the in-between, the developmental farm system developing you to close the gap between excellence and incompetence. Okay? So wherever you're at today, we can move you up a click, another click, another click, another click, another click. But what was that quote I gave you yesterday, Pete? I'll give you guys something that's I heard yesterday for the first time. Still can't believe I heard it for the first time yesterday. I'll give it to you. Hold on one second.
Something about the older you get.
Yeah, too soon old. It's a German proverb. Too soon we grow too soon old, and oh God, I'll find it. But go ahead.
So, hey, here's one of the things I want y'all to know. As we dive into these 5, we're going to spend about 5 to 7 minutes on each of these 5 presentations. Hear this. 2,000 years. We've had social media come and run things. We've had, back in the day, we had fax machines, and we had all different types of methodologies and marketing things over the last hundreds of years and thousands of years that people used and think AI is the latest and greatest and it's the hottest. Here's what I want you to know. The only thing that has stood the test of time of 2,000 years are people's words to present, to persuade. You think back into the days of Jesus 2,000 years ago, and you fast forward to 2026, and what is consistent are words, and that's been lost in the profession, and we're bringing it back these 3 days to take you to another level, because this is not going anywhere. AI will never replace human connection, but the only way humans connect are if your words are powerful.
Let me give you and many of you help me with the phrase, we get too soon old and too late smart, which basically says any time you can save to get smart, save it. Because, I mean, you just don't, you're not going to get it back. So figure this thing out as fast as you possibly can. The faster you can become a great presenter, the better. If you can get yourself in an environment that will accelerate your skills in order to be able to get that to happen, do it. Do it. Because most people are like, well, I'm just going to take my time. Well, if you do, you're losing out on all that time that you could have been valuable. And the bigger thing, let me tell you, a really painful thing, having the right person in front of you and not being the right person that they need. I'll say it again. Having the right person in front of you, ready to change your life, and you're not the person that they needed to be in front of them, because you weren't able to communicate with your words what they needed to hear to change their life. I would save you that guilt. I would save you that pain. It's not fun. They say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. That's nonsense. You can definitely be the wrong leader to that person at the exact time that they needed it. So get this figured out, and we're going to walk through it all.
So, Eric, this is what I want to do. I want to spend about 4 or 5 minutes on each of these. And if there's some that you feel more, you can go a little higher or a little less. So these are the 5 presentations that every single one of you are going to want to master. The first one, which you're going to spend some time today, but Lisa will also spend some time on day 3, is the power of your personal story. It has the ability to be your number 1 sales and recruiting tool in your business, period. Teach people, help people understand how to do that better.
Well, here's where I didn't know that this was a big deal. Telling your story, I didn't know it was a big deal. One, and the only reason why I did it is they said the person with the marker makes money. You got to get in front of that room, The only chance I had, because I didn't have any skills, was to give a testimonial. At the end of the presentations, there's an opportunity for 8 or 10 people to give a testimonial in 30 to 60 seconds. And I wanted to be one of those people. So I could do that. So I learned how to tell my story. Let me tell you my background. Let me tell you the things I didn't like about my background. Let me tell you about the solution that I found with my company. And let me tell you how I feel about the future now. And learning how to tell that story in a minute. I could tell my story in 30 seconds. I could tell my story in a minute. I could tell my story in 2 minutes. I could tell my story in 10 minutes. But in real life, here's what this became for me. And it took a while because I tried to be cute. I tried to be funny. I tried to stand out. And eventually I just needed to be real. You know, how do I make a connection with somebody else? By giving them my background, what I didn't like about my background, that I found a solution, and how I feel about the future. This little structure, which we'll teach you, this structure, you're going to need to practice a bit. But every one of you have a background. Would you agree? Every one of you have something you didn't like about it. Yes? Every one of you found a solution. And every one of you has how you feel about the future. And you need to make sure that you capture that in the right way. When you do, you build relationship with your prospect, and you open the doors to them at least being able to listen to what it is that you have. And if you do it absolutely right, you'll get your prospect to want to help you in telling your story. Interesting. So for me, learning how to do this, once I learned it, let me tell you what happened for me. What happened for me is my story became my business card. I would tell my story every time I met somebody. I'd say, hey, well, da, 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 da. You know, let me tell you my story. I'd look for my moment to tell them my story. And I would tell the story. It would open up conversation. Laura says, we're 30 minutes now. When are you going to start coaching us? Laura, you are not listening.
You aren't listening, Laura. I
love you. I love you, but you're not listening. If you think I'm not giving you some things with words here. This is not about a checklist. This is about getting your head right. I love you, but you're not listening. If your interest is waning, you are not ready. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Love you. Love you. Glad you're here. But come on. I'm telling you. So when I went to people, sorry, I got distracted by that. But anyway, when I started doing this, it became my business card in every conversation. Every time I started a presentation, I started with my story. Every time I did a training, I started with my story. Every time I did a home meeting, I told my story. Every time I got on Team Zoom, I told my story. Every time somebody was struggling, I told them my story again. So it became something when I didn't know what to do, I would just go to story. That's what I would do. Go to story. Okay? So this is a big deal. So one, you need to master your story. It's going to take some practice, some structure. And number two, you need to teach other people to tell their story. You cannot believe the confidence I got from this little 60-second thing. It became my go-to. Changed everything for me. Opened the door for me to start doing more. Okay?
Hey, guys, write those 4 things down. Because guess what? Facts tell, stories sell. Stories sell. They do. And we're going to give you the ability with your homework assignment to tell your story today in 1 minute. In 1 minute. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end. I will model it based on the framework he just gave you around with this. The framework is my background. What I don't like about it. I found the solution. And the future. Those are the 4 parts of the framework. If we can help you master this, and it doesn't come by one time, it comes by like freaking indoctrinating yourself into it and then going and doing it. And we're going to warm you up today because some of you, every one of you are going to have the ability to learn how you can share your story on the GoPro stage.
Can I say one thing? Kathleen said, do you have any tips on making an incredible story? You are an incredible story. You don't need to manufacture anything. Every one of you is an incredible story. It's unique. It's like a snowflake. It is unique in the world. Your background, what you didn't like, the solution that you found and how you feel about the future. You don't have to manufacture nothing. You just have to package what's actually there. Okay? Where people get it wrong is they try to do too much, or they turn it into a presentation, or they make it a training. It's not that. You are a story. Just as you are, where you are, every one of you has a story that would make people cry, make people laugh, inspire people. You just have to be able to give yourself permission to go there. You are for sure.
So guys, I want you to write this down before we move to the second presentation. Some of you are asking your background, part one, what you don't like about it, what you didn't like about it. And there's going to be things that you didn't like that the person you're talking to doesn't like. The third thing is about the solution you found. And the fourth thing is about how the future looks bright. The last thing I'm going to say to this, I told Grant Cardone this, and I think Eric's going to hear me say this for the first time. We track all of these things in our business, whether we're in a network marketing company, an entrepreneur. How many sales calls did you have? How many follow-ups did you do? All these KPIs, these key performance indicators. I once heard Pat Quinn, a friend of mine, say the one thing that nobody in network marketing or in business is doing well is keeping track of how many times they tell their story in a week. Because if you track that, there will be a direct correlation to the amount of money you make if you can begin to increase that number. Yep. So that's presentation number one. Presentation number two, Eric, and we'll give you the framework. Be ready, because he's going to be giving you the framework for these, is the opportunity presentation. This is obviously a recruiting machine. Like, this helps them become a recruiting machine. Speak to that opportunity presentation. Why is that so important?
Well, in our business, we're trying to educate people to the point that they understand what we have. Okay? Learning how to be a presenter. You're going to be using third-party resources most of the time for your prospects, but you, at some point, you need to become the presenter and become the third party for your team. So you're not going to use this to be an amazing presenter for your prospects. You're going to struggle with duplication if you do that. But when it comes to your team needs you to be doing presentations on Zoom, in person, in living rooms, at over coffee, over lunch, wherever it happens to be, learning how to give an opportunity presentation. And again, because I wanted to get up in front of the room, I wanted to be the one holding the marker. I wanted to be the one influencing people with words. I wanted to help people understand what we had. What I learned to do is the top earner in my company gave the same exact presentation every single time. Same word, same lame joke, every single thing, but he was the number one earner, right? So I'm like, well, that's a good place to start. So I recorded his presentation and I wrote it down word for word on a legal pad. You ever pause, play, pause, play, pause, play? You write it all down. I had it all written on a legal pad. And then I recorded my own voice giving the presentation. Listened to it. Was completely mortified. Like, that's how I sound? No wonder nobody's joining me. You ever done that? Like, recorded your voice doing something like that, and you go, oh, I'm not joining that ever. So I recorded it again and again and again and again and again until it was okay. Okay. And then I listened to it 1,000 times. And here's what I did. I'm an introverted person. So the idea of being this natural extrovert, out there presenting to the world was scary to me. But somebody told me that most actors are introverts. So I said, I could be an actor. I could learn my lines. So the presentation to me was I listened to it so many times that I learned my lines. I learned my lines, and I knew the structure. I knew the words, and I didn't even change his jokes. I used his same jokes. I used his same open. I used his same lame close. I didn't change anything. All of his lame stuff, I did exactly what he did. In our business, nobody cares if you copy, especially if you're copying somebody who's a big earner. Nobody cares. It's not like plagiarism. No, they're not like offended that you use their talk. They want you to use their talk. Okay, fine. So once I got it down, I could do that presentation today, right now.
Probably for any company. You plug and play any company, you would put it into that presentation.
Solid.
Did y'all hear that? That means all of you are represented. Bye.
Not a problem. Easy peasy. No problem. But guess how many times I listened to myself do that talk? At least 1,000. over and 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 over. Because so guess what came out the other side of it? I could do a 40-minute presentation like in a hotel room. I could do a 20-minute presentation in a living room. Same presentation, shorter. I could do a 7-minute overview on the phone. I could do a 12-minute version of it over coffee or lunch. I could do a 3-hour version that turned into more of a training. I mean, I had it solid. You could say, because it was pieces, and we'll talk about this later, but it was product, it was introduction, then it was product, then it was company information, then it was compensation plan overview, then it was support that was available, then it was timing and why timing is important, then it was a call to action at the end. That structure. But if somebody said, would you just do the product? I would just take that section. Let me tell you about the product. I could do it. It was just a piece of the presentation.
Go over that one more time because we're going to get 22 questions around. And guys, this will be the last time he does it. Give that framework one more time.
Here's the framework.
Here's the framework.
Introduction. Intro. Product. Company. Compensation. Support. Timing. Call to action. And the only variable to that is if there's a place and there's people for testimonials to add before the call to action, then you'd insert testimonials between timing and call to action. So Olivia says, what's timing? Why is now a good time to get involved? How does the company appeal to what's going on in the world today? How do the products solve problems that people are dealing with today? See what I mean? So that structure, I could just do the company piece, no problem. What do you need me to do? Guess how much preparation I needed? 0. This is a one-man play. I had learned my words. I had learned my lines. I was not super confident, but I learned to act confident because, it's just like I'm an introvert. But if there was a national commercial for a major brand and they were paying $100,000 a year residual to do that commercial, could I learn my lines? Yes, I could learn my lines. And guess what? When you see top actors talking about how they become top actors, you know what the number one rule is? They read the script 200 times. Go do some research on what actors do when it comes to the script. They read the script 200 times until they have it cold, and then they can just go from there. That's what I learned to do. Most people in network marketing, most of you haven't done that. I'll give you the structure to do it, but guess what? I just had to do it. So
I love that. You guys have the structure. So here's the cool thing, and I'm going to say something. When he says intro, that's a perfect place where you can plug in your personal story to start it out. Like if you plug in your kind of personal story as that intro, it grabs their heart right away, and now they want to learn about all of the other details. The personal story is intended when you might have a minute or 2 or 3 with somebody to get their attention, engage their attention, and them say, I want more, or I'm in. Believe it or not, your personal story can bypass the opportunity presentation for the emotional buyer. Now, the practical buyer, the objective buyer is going to want to hear the opportunity presentation. And so use that framework. Eric has got we have got the most powerful deck that walks people through where it's a plug and play. You just add your story, you add your company name, your product. Like we've already built out that. How many of you would love to have that deck where you could literally just plug and play your stuff right into there where it's already done for you? Yeah, that's something that we've never given to the general public, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's get through these last 3. We've got about 10 minutes here. The 5th one I'll be talking about more tomorrow, so you can talk about it too, some today. But this 3rd one is now we're kind of moving out of recruiting new customers and new distributors, and now we're trying to get them to stick. This one is the getting started presentation, how you launch your team and get it to stick.
Here's the crazy thing. I didn't know this was a presentation. When you sign up a person and you launch them, I didn't know it was a presentation. I just thought it was something that happened. Person joined your company and they get onboarded and they get kicked off, get started. Like, I didn't know until I sat with my mentor. His name was Michael Nelson, another local mentor, Crossline guy to me. And I watched him after the presentation. He would have what he called a game plan interview. Person was interested, person who wanted to join, person who wanted to know what was the next steps. He did it exactly the same every single time. And I found out the getting started was one of the most important presentations you need to learn how to do. Why? Because this is the beginning of duplication. Actually, your prospecting process is the beginning of duplication. People will duplicate that. But where duplication really lives, it lives and breathes, is in the launch. Because if you either get somebody started right or wrong, that's going to change your retention on a radical scale. You can literally 5 to 10x your retention by getting somebody started effectively. So there's just a checklist of, and it feels like it's more like he called it a game plan interview. It feels like an interview. It feels like you're kind of acting like a consultant. You're asking a lot of questions. Guess what? It just looks like that. It's a presentation. It's the continuing of selling them, convincing them they made the right choice, they're in the right place, that there's a proven plan of action, that they can trust the process, that you're there to help them. Because even if they said yes, they still have seeds of doubt, right? They still have concerns. Guess what the Getting Started presentation does? It makes those concerns fade and their confidence grow. And when they go home, they've got more ammunition to be able to stand strong when their friends and family said, "You did what? You joined what?" Like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that." You're preparing them to go out in the world and make them stronger. So learning how to do a launch, a getting started, a game plan with a new person as a presentation. These are typically one by one, but sometimes if you're bringing in a bunch of people, it can be little small groups you can do as well. Or you can get everybody in your entire city together on a Saturday morning, and you could do this with all of them. But this thing is a repeatable presentation that you need to learn, and you need to teach, and you need to teach people to teach. And most people in today's world, they're not doing this. They're plugging people into some process that their upline does or doesn't do. They're plugging people into the Zoom presentation that somebody else is doing. You guys are good connectors, but at some point, you've got to learn how to say the words. I'll say one more thing. I can measure the success of your organization based upon the number of high quality presenters you have on your team. How many do you have? How many people would you trust to go on your company stage and do a high quality presentation of some level? How many do you have? If it's a 0, it's a bad number. Right? And is this doable? Is it teachable? Emma says it's a lot. Wonderful. Whatever it is, Latasha says we have many. Fantastic. Tell me what many looks like. Give me a number. High quality presenters that you would trust. Latasha, specifically, what's your number? What's your number? Over 15. Now, does 15 line up with your goals? What if it was 150? What if it was 1,500? What if it was 15,000? Oh, now you're an army. 15, you're fragile. You lose one, it's what? 6% of your business? 1? So you got to expand this number. You got to expand. It's a big, big, big deal. So let's keep going.
He's getting into a little of the juice of maybe what he'll do on day 3, but
He'll
go deeper into it. Really quickly, Eric, I'm going to have you do it one time.
Yeah.
What's the framework that you would tell people to use for the getting started presentation? Really quick.
I won't be able to do.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could just do it tomorrow a little bit because we're not going to have time.
Okay.
But there's a step by step, and all of it's psychological. Letting them know that they made the right choice. For example, congratulations. You need to congratulate a person for their decision to join. Let them know that they're smart. Then you need to let them know that your goal is to help them become independent from you as quickly as possible, which is the opposite of what most people do. Most people say, congratulations on joining. Guess what? Now I work for you. It's the worst thing you could possibly say. To be able to build confidence? Like you work for them, now they're going to sit back and wait for you to make them successful? No. My goal is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. Not that we're not going to stay friends, but you don't need me. Do you agree that that's a good goal? They say yes. All right, how long do you want it to take to become independent from me, where you can operate with or without me? 6 months, 9 months, 3 months. Fantastic. Now, all I need, I'm giving you some of it here, all I need from you to give you personal time, because this is your business, not my business, it's your business. To get my personal time, I need 3 things from you. I need you to be willing, coachable, and hungry. And you have to be all 3. Because I either give people personal time or group time or both. Personal time, you need to be willing, coachable, and hungry. Okay, fantastic. Are you those 3? Because if you're not all 3, then you're going to get group time. Okay? If you're all 3, you get personal and kind of a mix between personal and group. Okay? You want all 3. Are you willing, coachable, and hungry? Role play with me. Say yes if you are. And guess what? When you say this to people, guess how many people are going to say yes? All of them. And it's not true. They say they're willing, coachable, hungry. So you say, but you got agreement, which is very psychologically critical, that they agree that they're going to be those 3 things. They agree that it's important for them to become independent. All wildly critical. Then you're going to say, here's how I'm going to know if you're willing, coachable, and hungry. I'm going to give you some simple assignments designed to help you become independent. That doesn't mean I'm your boss. It doesn't mean I'm more important than you. It doesn't mean, I'm trying to, kick you around. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to give you some assignments, and those assignments are designed to let me know if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, and they're designed to move you forward in your business. Do you agree that that would be an okay process for us to use in order to help you become independent? Yes. Okay, I agree. Now you've set the stage, and we'll get into the structure of it. But is what I just said different? Congratulate them. Goal is independence as quickly as possible. Do you agree that that's a good goal? When would you like to become independent? In order for me to work with you, I need 3 things: willing, coachable, hungry. Are you? Yes. Here's how I'm going to know. I'm going to give you assignments. Doesn't mean I'm your boss, but it does mean it's a way for me to be able to measure whether it's a good investment of my time. Okay? And if the assignment's too hard, here's how I'm going to know if I give you an assignment, you accept it, and you don't do it, either you're not willing, coachable, and hungry, or I gave you an assignment that scared you a little bit. And if I did, that's fine. I'll back you down and I'll make it easier. So we find a level of acceptance, and we'll do that together. Okay? And then the goal is independence. We're going to be able to help you get there. So is that 5 or 10 minute setup of that? You imagine if you did that with every single person that joined your business? That presentation will change the retention, longevity, success trajectory of your entire organization. Massive. Then we get into the structure of it, but that setup by itself changes everything. So yeah.
I love that. Hey guys, got 2 more. Remember, we got a powerful video at the end, and I'm going to share with all of you how you have the chance to actually be on the GoPro stage. Let's work through these last 2 kind of quickly here. Skill-based training, Eric. Like skill-based training, if people do not have the skill sets, they're not going to succeed.
Yep.
So there's one thing to get them started, but now you have to start actually developing their skills So talk about this this presentation and what it looks like for them to begin to do this fourth one. This one was a little surprising one to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it feels, skill-based training feels like a training, but it's still a presentation. You know, what are you trying to do when you're teaching people how to find prospects, for example? You're doing a presentation that's reducing their stress, raising their confidence, and hopefully causing them to take more of the correct action. If you're teaching them how to invite people to take a look at what you have, you're teaching people how to use third-party resources instead of first-party. You're teaching people how to answer questions and overcome objections. All of those presentations, at some point, you need to learn yourself, you need to teach for your team, and then you need to teach people to teach that. Because the higher the skill set in your organization, the more activity people are going to take based upon the confidence that they develop. So you need to learn how to, most people, guess how skills are developed? People crawling out of the dirt by raw emotion. Like, I'm going to figure this out. Like, instead of saying, here's a proven plan. What if all your great presenters, not just good magical talkers, but great educators? Pretty little speeches change the world. Pretty little skill-based trainings change your team. How do you teach people in a way that keeps a complicated thing simple? How do you tell stories in a way that inspires people inside of that skill-based training? How do you make it memorable? There's a reason why you see, we have 5 presentations, but in my stuff, I learned this from Jim Rohn. Simple is hard. Complicated is easy. So how do you take a complicated concept like questions and objections, for example, and simplify it down? Say it in less words. Make it memorable. That's why you're going to see I have a lot of 3 steps to this and 2 ways to do that and 5 steps and 7 strategies and all these little lists to try and remember stuff. Or even in a new book I've got coming out for on third-party resources, I came up with this little acronym, STEP, STEPP. If you're going to be educating somebody, S is for stories, T is for tools, E is for events, P is for products, and the other P is for people. Stories, tools, events, products, people. STEP. To remember it, because it's easy to forget this stuff. So how do you keep it simple? How do you duplicate this process? Because for big parts of your team, you're going to be a great presenter, but it's not enough just for you to be a great presenter. How many great skill-based presenters can you build on your team? That's what skill-based training is about. These are the fundamentals.
Yeah, and we believe that within what we do here at Network Marketing Pro, there are 6. I know somebody said there's 7, but there's 6 core skills that we want everybody becoming great at, becoming a pro at. We want you becoming great at sales, recruiting, retention, duplication, leadership, and presenting. Those are the 6. Now, under sales and recruiting is where a lot of those 7 things that GoPro, the book, talks about, which is finding prospects, all of those. But we want people to become, when you're an amateur, Eric, I'm gonna tattletale on him. Can I tell something on him?
I don't know.
He can kind of tell by looking at a person if they've truly invested in their skill set. Because presenting is not just about presenting, it's about being presentable. And so you do not want to be an amateur. Too many people play as amateurs and don't really develop the skill set. And I think the greatest thing that he's given back to the profession is helping develop skills. Because I can tell you, I would pay attention to Eric if he came up to me and shared his story, but I wouldn't pay attention to a lot of people because you can tell. You can absolutely tell when somebody has not developed their skill sets. And for a lot of you, not only is that the problem for your team, it might be the problem for you. Eric, last one, because I'm going to hit on this one hard tomorrow,
Yep.
but I still want you to talk about it. Your keynote and signature talk, that big standard talk that you can share it internally within your company, but this is a talk you can also take out to the world as well.
Learning how to do a keynote talk was a different thing. And for me, there's some places for it. And what I mean by a signature talk is, what can you come up with a talk that is, it represents you, your passions, your beliefs, your vision for the future, that brings out the emotion, that brings out the emotional connection, that inspires, that causes people to take action. Every one of you has that talk in you. Every one of you has a talk that would blow people away. Now, signature talks for me were tough. First signature talk I ever did. Now, occasionally I would have casual talks where I would try to inspire the team. First signature talk I ever did was 1993. Okay. It was a minute ago. And it still exists if you want to hear it. It exists in audio form. If you look it up on Google, it's called A Call to Action. If you look up A Call to Action, Eric Worre, you'll find it. From whatever it is, over 30 years ago. I think I was 29 years old, 30 years old maybe. But it was in front of 14,000 people, ladies and gentlemen, 14,000. And I practiced that talk for 90 days. I will tell you, when I walked off that stage, it was 14 minutes long, my life completely changed. When you learn how to do a talk that's so powerful, your life will change. Your team will start to perform just to get around you. Your team will change. People will want to join your organization with less resistance. People will follow your advice more directly because of your credibility and your reputation. People will, for sure, take better action. Pretty little speeches change the world. So I learned the power of that. And since then, I've given many, many, many different keynote speeches. But I was in a little competition between me and the top earner in the company. He was going to present and I was going to present. So I knew that I could out-prepare him because he was going to be busier than I was. He wasn't going to have the time and attention. I actually helped him with his talk, put his talk together. But I smashed him. I just smashed him in the most positive way ever. You know, not wanting him to lose, but me wanting to win. I smashed him. You know why? I could out-prepare him. And you can out-prepare too. You can come up with, what is your theme? What is your talk? What is your structure? What are the ways to be able to do it, to be able to craft something? And Pete, to give him credit, how many people have you trained how to do a signature talk in your career?
I have over 100,000 customers.
Over 100,000 customers. He's taught how to do that.
Those are all customers.
I'm good at it, but I'm not as good at teaching that. I'm good at teaching, like Lisa Nichols and Pete. They're incredible at teaching the signature talk. So that's why they're here to be able to help with that. I'm really good at story, opportunity, getting started, skill-based as far as that foundation. And if you don't understand what a signature talk is, you don't need to worry about it. We'll help you find it. Okay. But figuring that out at some point, where not only if your company asks you to come do a talk at their convention, could you do that talk? If your local, a local chapter of some organization asked you to come do a talk at their luncheon, could you be ready to do that talk? See what I mean? There's opportunities, there's stages you can get on, virtual stages, physical stages, that will expand your brand and expand your influence and expand your leadership ability to grow teams, for sure, 100%. And he's also the master at helping you get on stages. So anyway.
So let me tell you this, and I love the questions. Eric, this is our VIP room. I know Eric loves answering everybody's questions. That's why we have VIP. This is our VIP room.
Okay, got it.
We will get to those. A signature talk for me is a talk. Listen, can y'all bring up that presentation right now? The 5 key presentations. I want you to write this down, and I just saw this. I just connected the dot. Number 1 and number 5 are intended to be people outside of your company that you are trying to bring customers and new distributors in with. That's shared to new prospects, new people. 2, 3, and 4 are more for within your company. Within your company. Watch this. Number 1 is traditionally your opportunity to share one-on-one. Eric shares, I'm going to share my personal story here with Eric here in a minute, in 1 minute, to demonstrate what we want you to do for your homework assignment tonight. That's what number 1 would be. It's a one-to-one play. The 5th one is a one-to-many play. I shared this with Leah Lockett, and Leah Lockett, I just got her on a stage, and I'm going to give the case study tomorrow. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to be in front of 1,000 entrepreneurs, and I'm going to get to share my signature talk. It's not her opportunity presentation, because they won't let you share that. She's going to get to share that with 1,000 people, and I promise you, she will have dozens, if not hundreds of people step into her business. That's what a signature talk is. So don't worry. Tomorrow, I'm going to break down the framework for a great signature talk tomorrow for you. And then here's what I'm going to do tomorrow, just so they can see it. I'm going to show them how to use number 1 and number 5 to go get more customers and more distributors than you ever have this quarter, Eric.
100%.
Most of them said they're behind on their goals. They're behind on their dreams. Tomorrow, I hope that today sets the tone with all 5 of these. Like, I'm chomping at the bits with all 5, but that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Quick question for you. And I want to show you the video. I want to give you the homework assignment Eric and I do here in a minute. Where would you rate yourself? Be honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in being a presenter within all 5 of these? If you're only doing one of them well, you might be a 3 or a 4. Like, where would you rate yourself? Be legit. And anybody who's 8 or above, you probably have a big business today.
Yeah.
Like, if you're 7, 8, 9, that means you should be crushing it. Probably, I would say a 7 or 8 should be close to $1 million earner.
For sure.
So I'm hoping if you're saying 7 or 8, that's where you're at. If not, you're just fooling yourself.
Well, and the 7s or 8s are saying, hey, I'm here to try and get a little better.
Yeah, and I love that. They want to get to a 9 because they want
levels.
They want to become to a different level. So let me ask you a quick question. I'm going to do this really quickly. Hey, can Eric and I, can y'all bring this up and keep this up? Can Eric and I help you guys build out all 5 of these in one day? Like, who would want us to not only build them out, but give you the decks that you could literally fill in the blanks? It'd be done for you. Like, how many of you would like for us to build all 5 of these presentations out?
Put a 5 in the chat.
In one day. Like,
put a 5 in the chat if you'd like us to help you do that. Because it would take a full serious, no joke day.
And if you try to do this on your own, it could take you years. And so this is what I want to say to you really quickly, and then we're going to get to the homework assignment and who's going to win the prize for today. And we'll see how many of those 5s are serious. We are excited to introduce to you Presentation Mastery. Presentation Mastery we are doing for the very first time, and I text you. And there are 4 major components to Presentation Mastery. And I want you to see these. The first component is the live training that we're actually going to do here in a few weeks, and you will join in virtually. And in this day, you'll see what we're going to do in the training. There is the training, and it's not a training to teach you. You will literally get it done. You'll get it done. And you'll actually share your story a few times through the course of the day. That's part 1. Part 2 is you're going to get the done-for-you deck templates for your opportunity presentation, for your getting started, and for your signature talk for sure. I'm talking to Eric a little bit today about the skill-based one and see if I can twist his arm on something, but you're going to get those 3 done-for-you templates, so as we're presenting that day and training, you're actually getting your presentations done in one day. The done-for-you deck templates we've never, ever given to anybody. You're also going to get a one-on-one business growth audit call. And here's the reason why. We want to know how far you are behind on your goals and what's getting in the way so that we can see if there's a way that we can continue to help you hit those goals. And the last thing, and I am so excited about this, and I'll go through these quickly, you're going to get the GoPro Speak Off. If you don't know this, Grant Cardone loved, and I've got a little video from Grant here in a minute, so be ready for that. But Grant loved the Speak Off more than almost anything. Him and Elena loved that as part of GrowthCon. And Eric said, shoot, let's do it. So we're going to give you all the ability to actually get trained, get your talks built. And this fall, we're going to do a Speak Off where the winners of that Speak Off will be a part of the GoPro stage. How many of you, who's going to win that? Write the word win in the chat right there. But we won't let the Speak Off happen until we've trained you for a quarter. So here's what you get really quickly. I'm going to go quickly through this. You get the live training with Eric, Pete, and Lisa. It's virtual. It's April 29th. Mark it on your calendar. If you're like, oh no, I can't be available that day, it's a full day. We will build out these 5. We're not training on them. Eric trained on it today. He's going to go a little deeper, and then we're going to build it out that day. People want things done. This is not a day where you're going to have a to-do list. This is a day where you will have a to-done list. And by the way, you get lifetime access to that, and you actually become GoPro certified in the presentation mastery. And we've got it in English, Spanish, Italian, French, and German. The second thing I already told you're actually going to get templated decks, scripts, and frameworks for all 5 of the presentations. 3 of them will be decks for sure. But you're also going to have the exact script or the exact framework that you fill in the blank. That is priceless. The third thing I already told you about is the business growth audit. That's the third component of all. These 4 components are intended to make you a better presenter that makes more money. And that's why we're doing the business growth audit. And then the last component, and I told you I was only going to take about 5 minutes. The last component is the GoPro Speak Off. You've now built these presentations. You've now shared your story. You've now done the work. You've perfected it. You've practiced it. Now this fall, we are going to lead a Speak Off one-day event for anybody that was part of Presentation Mastery. And we're going to allow you to come speak off and be a part of this. And oh, by the way, with those decks, I'm literally going to do a training slide by slide of the decks that you will have lifetime access to of how to plug and play those decks and use them in your business. I have written talks for Eric, Grant, Tony and Dean, and many other great people in our industry. And I'm going to be the one training slide by slide so you know exactly how to plug and play that before the April 29th date, guys, so that you can come prepared. So you'll also get a Q&A with Eric at that one day if you show up live. So here's the components, guys, of the offer. Like, this is one of the coolest things that Eric has ever put together. You've got the $3,000 live event where you get lifetime access to that right away. So if you can't be there that day, don't worry, you'll have it within a week. You get the 5 templated decks and frameworks. You get the business growth audit as well. You get your shot at the GoPro stage, and you get the live Q&A with Eric, as well as it is a bonus that you're going to get me being the one that actually does the training on the decks. People pay me $100,000 to write their talks. Facts. And I'm going to be the one doing that. And here's the last thing that we're going to do. We're going to give you a $1,500 credit to apply if you want to be a part of GoPro certification or mentorship in the future. And so over $7,500 worth of value, guys, and you're going to get the chance to be able to step into that. You said, I want you to help me build all 5. $1,497. That's what we're doing this for. Thank you, Dagmara, saying, wow. One deck is worth $1,500. One training from Eric is worth $1,500. Almost everything you see there on the screen is $1,500 or more. I love what Alicia said. She said a no-brainer. I love that. That shows seriousness. And you can see here, guys, you can do it if you go to presentationswin.com. presentationswin.com. You can do a 1-pay or you can do a 3-pay. And we want you to step in this today. We're keeping this open for the next few days, but that $1,500 credit that we're talking about, that's going to be for the first 100 people that take action. Eric wants action takers. So Eric is giving away $150,000, and Marina, to the first 100 people that take action, where they're going to get to use that as a credit later on. So now this literally costs you nothing if you choose to step into certification or mentorship. So if you're, I want to see this, and I'm going to have Eric come in, and then I'm going to play the video from Grant, which I think is super important. But if you are like, Pete, I'm in, no questions, this is a no-brainer, I want you to write the word win. If you're like, I'm stepping into this, I want to see the word win, because Eric likes to see those people who are serious. Make sure you go to presentationwins.com, and take advantage before our good friend comes up here and shares a few words, and then we're going to give the homework assignment and go into the VIP Q&A. Eric, this is irresistible, man.
100%. Well, I mean, some people are asking if you're part of GoPro certification already, you bought the full certification, that's all included. So you're fine. You don't need to do anything. For everybody else that's not part of that, here's what I would just tell you. You can't build a business that lasts without this. You just can't. You've got to get this thing figured out. The faster, the better. Figure this out without the School of Hard Knocks and embarrassing yourself and blowing through good people that could have been great. You need to become great. And what I will tell you is, regardless of where you're starting today, whether you're scared or you've tried things before, this is the time for you to be able to step into yourself. Okay, we wanted to make it as no-brainer as we possibly could. That's part of the reason why for those first 100 people, we're going to give you a $1,500 credit. Yeah, it's $1,500 for this program, $1,497. We're going to give you a $1,500 credit towards future certification if you want to be able to use it, to just take all the risk away. So you can go do it. So if you feel like you're hungry enough to take action, figure out a way to take action. And some saying, I don't know if I don't have the money right now, is this going to be available later? I'm not sure if it is going to be available later, but what I will tell you is this is something for you to figure out, like you were going to university or something. This is like one class, one semester type of thing. For somebody who believes in you, or if you believe in you, solve the problem. This is the first problem to solve, to figure out if you're willing, coachable, hungry. And I'm not judging you. I've been, when my electricity turned off and my bank account's closed, I've been in those situations. But let me tell you what I would tell myself in those same situations with the electricity turned off. I would find somebody, because whatever I was doing at that point wasn't working.
Yep.
I would find somebody to believe in me in order for me to be able to build a foundation. I'd figure out first payment. I'd have somebody help me with the rest, because the only way out of your bad situation is through. You can't wait for things to change. You got to change. You got to get better. You got to get better as fast as you possibly can. I'm just telling you, if you feel like you're tapped, I'm telling you, there's resources. What is your option? If not this, then what? What's going to be able to do it for you? So we want to see you win. We want to see you crush. We want to see you grow. We want to see you be able to master the stage. And even on top of that, we're going to teach you how to use the tone of your voice, and how to use the expressions on your face, and how to use humor, and how to use energy and get audience participation, all those other kinds of things inside of this on top of the structure, right? So the goal is to influence people with words. Pretty little speeches change the world, folks. They change other people's lives. And if I could wish anything for you, is to let you know how it feels to change somebody else's life with your words, to be able to change somebody else's life with your presentation. Where you know what I live for? The tap on the shoulder. That's what I live for. Those of you that are watching this, I told you at the beginning, I didn't come here for all of you. I only came here for some of you, right? But guess what I'm living for? 3 years from now, a tap on the shoulder. Say, you don't know me, but I was on that Zoom in April 2026. And I said, you know what? For things to change, I got to change. I'm going to do this. And guess what? I did. Now, not only am I a great presenter on my team, I've used it to build a huge organization. I've helped other people do the same thing. I'm known. I'm on stages. I'm impacting people. So I live for that tap on the shoulder. I don't know who's going to be doing it or where it's going to be, but I can't wait for a tap. It just happened to me last night. I was at the hockey game, and somebody says, hey, I just want you to know, 8 years ago, I was at the GoPro event, and it changed everything for me. I just want to say thanks. Makes my whole day. It's the best. I would wish that for you. It's going to happen. I promise it's going to happen. Okay? So, but guess what? The journey to real life change starts with the step.
Yeah.
And, pardon me, most of the time, the life-changing step is not convenient.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's like there's stuff in the way. Most of the time. It's never like an easy decision, that life-changing step. It's almost never an easy decision. It's almost always tough. So anyway, Pete.
Yeah, congratulations to Tammy. Tammy said, I'm registered with the Strong Arm. That's what's about to happen. You're about to become the Strong Arm in your business, because I'm telling you, this solo skill set is all you need to begin to build the business. I'm not saying it's going to it can help you recruit, sell, retain, duplicate, lead. This goes across all 6 of the core skill sets. This one goes across all of the other 5. Yep. When you begin to do this well, all of the other 5 become easier. And so I just want to share this quick video with Grant. I got to interview him one time, and this is a video that he did for me. I'm thinking it's short and sweet. So I just want you to hear what he says. And while you're doing that, go to presentationwins.com, because Eric and I are going to call out some of those people who are the fast movers, which obviously shows him how serious you are.
Communication with confidence. It is the most valuable asset you will develop in your lifetime.
Like, think about your children. If their ability to get a stage and communicate with confidence, is that more important than trigonometry? Of course. And so that's what I told him, Pete, man. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 most important skill for my kids is communication.
He literally told me multiple times there is no more important skill set than communication. He said he got home one day and his daughter, their homeschool teacher was frantic, and she was like, the girls aren't getting this homework done and that homework done and this. And he paused her. He just looked her in the eyes. I can imagine. I'm getting goosebumps as he told me the story. And he said, listen, I don't care about any of that other stuff. As long as you raise my girls up to be powerful presenters and communicators that have confidence, they can do anything in this world. He said the biggest mistake that parents do all of the time is, shh, be quiet, shut up. Shh, be quiet, shut up. I'm guilty of that. And as soon as I heard Grant say he never says, shh, be quiet, shut up, because all that's doing is sub-programming your conscious to say I'm not supposed to talk or present or win, then all of a sudden we don't. But Grant told me time and time again, if there was only one skill set that I could master, it would be the skill set of presentations.
And instead of shut up, say it better.
Say it better.
Say it better. If you're saying something that's nonsense, all right, let's say less of that. Let's say more of some good things that's going to be useful in the world. The other thing that I heard from Grant that I really found valuable, he said what he wants for his children is for them to be useful. This is one of the most directly applicable things that you can use to be useful, to have an impact. We all want to have meaning and purpose and all that stuff. This is impact. Yeah. That's what I want you to have. Impact. When you speak, everybody stops. Remember that old commercial? What was it?
When E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody
listens. When you speak, I want everybody to just go, wait, shh. Zoe's talking. You got to listen to Zoe. It's like, because when she says stuff, everything changes. Barbara's talking. Sean's talking. Hold on. So get yourself to that stage, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, I see a few people. And they're the team. They're just popping in. Celine, congratulations. Emma, congratulations. Tammy, congratulations. Claudia, congratulations. Tony, congratulations. There's many others. I could keep going on and on. You guys will all be eligible for that $1,500 credit. That's the one thing that will go away. We'll keep this open for a few days. And just as a reminder, if you can't be here on April 29th, don't worry. You're going to get lifetime access to it and be able to do it on demand. So don't worry if you cannot be there live. If you can be there live, that's incredible. But I want to see you guys take advantage today. Tomorrow, really.
When you say be there live, it's a virtual
live.
Like, yeah, not necessarily in the room, but in the virtual room.
In the virtual room.
Yeah.
And so tomorrow, we at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, same time, Eric's going to kick us off, kind of recap, congratulate a lot of people. Congratulations, Sean Todd, he just registered. Let's go. And then I'm going to show you how to take presentation 1 and presentation 5 and recruit a lot more people. And I'm going to show you how to take presentations 2, 3, and 4 and raise up in the ranks within your own company. We're going to kill both birds there. Your own stages and other people's stages, how to make more money and how to raise up within your company. I promise you, tomorrow will be a moneymaker for you, and we might have a couple of surprises. And so here's what we want you to do. And I'm going to close with this, and then we're going to go to our VIP room and answer questions. We want you to share how network marketing has changed your life. So we will take down any presentations. Where do they share the story? This is where you share your story.
On social.
Okay. Is it on social, Rachel, or is it on a type form, Rach? Can you tell me that really quickly? I'm
gotta be social with tagging me.
Yeah. So
Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. Just do that right there. Follow those instructions, but it will not qualify if you start talking about your company. So let me demonstrate what I'm going to do right here for Eric in 45 seconds. I'm going to look him in the eyes. And if I were shooting a video, I'm doing this on the spot based on your framework, my past, my pain points, my solution, and the future looks bright.
How I found, that I found a solution.
Yeah. So,
and then how I feel about the future now.
Yeah. So I'm 21 years old. You're 21 years old. I'm in college when I first got introduced to network marketing. I'll share that story tomorrow. So I'm talking to another college friend. Hey, Eric, obviously you and I go here to Midwestern State, and everybody told me that I'm supposed to be in college. And you and I have been talking about how most of our business professors have never actually made money. They're teaching us how to be in business, but they've never done it themselves. And I'm not sure if college is the right thing for me, because I'm learning from people who literally have a ceiling to where I want to go, and that really makes me upset. And a couple of weeks ago, our good friend Tim actually introduced me to this network marketing company out of Dallas, Texas, that is literally helping people understand how to make money with online shopping. And I wouldn't put that in your story, but
you can.
You can put that, be generic. And I cannot tell you, in a few weeks, see myself actually making more money than those professors who are teaching me how to make money as a full-time college student. And I'm on a mission now to help a lot of college students make more money than what their business professors are making who are teaching them that. So I'd love to share a little bit more with you.
Yeah. So that's a first pass at a story.
First pass.
And what we could do with what we will do that is polish that up a bit, because it's going to be his business card, right? So polish it up a bit. Like if I was a teacher, as an example, how many, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been a teacher. All my teacher friends out there. And all right, look at my teachers. I'm kind of a teacher. So I will tell you, here would be a teacher story. If I'm talking to Zoe, hi Zoe, how you doing? Good to see you. It's like, Zoe, as you might know, I've been a teacher. I've been a teacher for 8 years, and I love being a teacher. There's nothing like helping a kid. There's nothing like seeing somebody light up because I was able to help them. It's pretty rare. But what you might not know is teaching's hard. And the hours are tough, and the compensation's not as much as you know. You can be the best teacher in the world, and there's only so much you're going to get paid. And it's a pretty political environment, and the things get a little sharp and tough inside of the teacher environment. And I've gotten a little weary of being blamed for parents not parenting their kids and me having to do it for them, and kind of going through the motions, trying to find that one kid that was excited about learning with everybody else was doing all that stuff. And I found, I was starting to search for something because I was getting a little disillusioned, and I found something. I found something where I could use my teaching skills with people who are willing and coachable and hungry. I found a way to be able to get paid what I was worth. I found a way where I didn't have to deal with politics. And now when I get up in the morning, I don't dread the day. I'm excited about the day. I'm excited about my future. I'm excited about the next step. And I think I can keep the DNA in me that wants to help people and maybe not have it in an environment where it's not appreciated. I'm tired of being tolerated instead of celebrated. I found a place where I can build something and call it my own, right? So how long did that take? A minute to be able to tell that story? Teachers, put a 2 in the chat if I connected with you on any level in that story. Was it pretty accurate? A lot of 2s. A lot of 2s. So what did that do? You know, sharing my pain is what opened it up. They go, yeah, me too, me too, me too. Yep, me too, me too. So, and I just, you know, did that random. I could do that at any background, and all of you can do it at any background. And we'll teach you how to do that. Nurses can do a similar story for real.
So this is what we want you to do. Here's the cool thing. We want you to go share your personal story of how network marketing has changed your life. And we're going to find the person that we think did the best job, and we're going to give them a prize tomorrow to kickstart the day. And tomorrow we'll have another homework assignment, and we'll give another prize for tomorrow. So I want you to know that. But at the actual April 29th event, one of the perks to being there live is everybody will be broken up into rooms and groups, and you will share a longer version of your personal story, and you will get feedback from people in the rooms of how to make it better after we've actually mapped it out with the scripts or the decks for you. That's the power of this. And so go do that homework assignment. Don't forget, everybody who registers will be a part of the Speak Off this fall.
Put the code back up, please.
Yeah.
Slide.
Right here. Yeah, slide back up.
Thanks.
So everybody, not everybody will win prizes, but everybody here has a chance to share your personal story on the GoPro stage. But you got to be a part of Presentation Mastery, because we want to make you great so that it can make a difference in your lives and in the lives of a lot of people. We're excited. Eric, any final thoughts as we finish day 1 and go to VIPs?
One, most of winning in this life is showing up. You showed up today, so I'm proud of you. Most people who started today won't finish by day 3. So part of this is a little bit of a test. And some people that finish day 3 could be part of this sort of this presentation mastery day, could do it, should do it, could figure out a way, and won't. And it's also part of the test. I'm looking for people who are willing, coachable, and hungry. It's not about the dollars. What it's about is your commitment. This is a token saying, me, I want to bet on me. And if you're ready to bet on you, then let's go. Let's get this figured out. I promise you this. I can help you figure this out faster than you can do on your own.
Yep.
And that time and speed is going to help you leverage and grow your team faster. And that's the name of the game.
Hey guys, last thing, and I'll bring that. Hey guys, if we can bring, as I finish here, if we can bring the homework assignment back up in here, take it down just for a second, Lex, and I'll tell you when to bring it up. But last thing I want to say, hey, there's been a few people saying I need to figure out how to bill on 2 credit cards or payment plans, or if you have a question about the program, in your dashboard, it says talk to program advisor. We have our program advisors in a room right now to be able to have conversations with you right in your dashboard. All you have to do is click talk to a program advisor and they'll take care of you. Or if you need to figure out something with billing, talk to a billing expert and our team here will take great care of you. And it'll be the start of a journey of you becoming an incredible
if you're willing to figure this out, we'll help you find a way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we'll help you find a way. You just got to make the decision.
So we'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Here is the actual
VIPs hang out
VIP. And here's the
Yeah. Okay.
Bye social.
See you, social. Later.
And then here's the homework assignment for those that want to keep it one more time. Can you all bring that up? There we go. Guys, there it is. Scan it and just make sure you take a picture of it. We won't have the chance to go back to all the slides. All right, Eric, we have, and I think we're going to keep, I think everybody's going to be able to hear the answers to the questions, but only VIP is going to be able to ask questions. And VIP, here's a cool thing.
Break? I don't think we can do a break.
No.
Yeah. Bye, social. See ya.
All right, you can take that homework assignment down.
So we're going to take questions from VIPs. We're going to let the other people listen. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, they can all listen in the other rooms. And if y'all can move that slide all together, that'd be great. Okay. Yeah, Amy, you're in the VIP room right now. Room 9. This is the VIP room. So, hey, room 9, we're not going to bring them up live, are we?
We can.
Okay. Hey, why don't y'all
If you have a question, raise your hand. Click the raise your hand button at the bottom, and on anything that we talked about here, and we'll just do some kind of live coaching and Q&A.
And here's my ask. Eric is the super generous one. He's the good cop. I'm the bad cop. My ask is that if we bring you up live, you say my question is, so we can get to the question. We don't see any hand. Hey, room 9, can you raise? Do they have the ability to raise hands? There we go.
There we go. We'll start with Stephanie.
Raise those hands. This is your chance to be coached by Eric Worre.
Hi, Stephanie.
Okay. Now, hi, Eric. So my question is, do you focus on each of the 4 parts the same of the personal story, or is there like a focus on a certain part?
Yeah, here's what you'll find. You'll get a little bit of practice with that. Thank you for the question, Stephanie. You'll get some practice with it, and you'll find a flow. It doesn't have to be equal. There's no like rule. If you're going to lean on one of the 4 things, the most powerful of the 4, background, your dissatisfaction, what you didn't like, you found a solution, how you feel about the future. The of those 4, the second one is the most powerful. Your pain, your dissatisfaction, the things that you didn't like. That's what's going to build the connection to people. That's what's going to allow them to relate to you. That's what's going to build rapport. Telling them how cool you are, or that doesn't help. If you just say, here's how cool I am and I found the solution, and nah. But if you just say, here's my pain and I found a solution, now it's relatable. So if you're gonna lean on one, lean on the pain part, but don't leave them there. What most people do when they complain to their friends is they're bitching and moaning about their life. Who wants to listen to that? Mm-hmm. Nobody. You can bitch and moan, that's fine, but then say, I found a solution. Oh, thank God. So you're not going to like leave me with this negative conversation you just started. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I wouldn't get hung up, but just try and keep it as brief as you can keep it and still make the point. Mm-hmm. Some people keep adding to the story, like additions to their house, and pretty soon their story is 5 minutes long and 7 minutes long and 9 minutes long. You should be able to do this less than 2 minutes, very comprehensively, without a problem, and we'll practice that quite a bit.
Okay. I love that. Hey, Lisa.
Sorry.
How much focus on what?
How much focus on detail and how much focus on broader, like examples versus the broad vision?
Again, find out what connects with people as you go through it. It's going to take some practice. My first story was pretty awful. I was trying to be cute and funny, and cute and funny didn't work. It's like I needed to get real. My first talk, hi, my name is Eric Worre, and I'm a retired underachiever. That was my opening line. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 22 years old. Like, I'm trying to joke, Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Nobody cares. Let's go to
Lisa. And guys, after they ask the question, if we can mute them, we're not going to make it as much as a dialogue as a tackling the specific question that you asked.
Go as quick as we can.
Hi. Okay, hi. I have a question about opportunity presentations. And when it comes to testimonials, what are your thoughts on having, even if the opportunity presentation is live, having a recorded testimonial, or if it's not recorded, what's the timeline for a testimonial? Because that can get a little long.
They can.
Yeah.
The fight always is trying to get the testimonials. The purpose of the testimonial, let me just give you the purpose at the end of some sort of opportunity presentation, is to, the audience might not relate to you, but you want to get as wide of a cross section of people involved so they'll relate to somebody in the testimonial. You get the business person, the student, the stay-at-home mom, the nurse, the hairdresser, the whatever, all these different retired person, business owner. But so you want to keep those, if it's recorded, less than 30 seconds for sure.
Okay.
If it's live, less than a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So recorded people tend to check out a little bit. So they got to be snappy, man. You got to really make them snappy. If they're recorded, you might need to edit them down in order to be able to say, let me have you hear from some of my colleagues. Bang, 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 bang. You got maybe 3 minutes of all of them in a recorded thing. You can do 5, 6, 7 minutes if it's actual people on the Zoom talking about it, or in person for sure. You can have 7 to 10 minutes. So long as they're interesting. The basic rule of this is the commandment, thou shalt not be boring. You have to keep it, you have to keep it kind of snappy and kind of interesting. But the reason why people wanted me to be part of the testimonial is they needed some young underachiever. They needed somebody, that everybody afterwards would say, would you talk to my son? Would you talk to my daughter? Would you talk to, so-and-so? Because I don't know what they're going to do with their life, but you seem to have found an answer.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Let's go to Leif. How you doing, buddy?
Hi. Sorry.
Leif shows up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's a man.
I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. My question is, after COVID, I think for me, I want to go to social media and do all the technical stuff because I'm an old networker, and now I'm sign up people much easier to go back face to face and take the trainings on social media like or Zoom or technical. Do you think, because for me, it's like the energy, the personal feeling, the good rapport is much easier to do on face-to-face, and one person face-to-face can be 10,000 and 100,000 people. Is that what? And I think more and more people are want to go back to a little bit more on the old school. Is that true? That's what
100%. Yeah,
okay.
the biggest trend in the world is people getting back face to face. Number one trend. Everybody has that dove to social as their primary is realizing it's not as sticky. If they want to build a business that lasts, they've got to be able to incorporate face to face. But when you get face to face, what are you going to do? Having a structure, having your story, having a brief presentation, having some third-party tools when you're face-to-face in order to be able to create more duplication is key. But I will tell you this, by far, for sure, 100%, face-to-face is the winner. I just did with a team 2 days ago. You know what my challenge was? 100 face-to-face presentations. You don't get to quit. You don't get to do anything. 100 face-to-face presentations will change your whole life. Mm-hmm. But you got to know what you're doing in them.
Yes.
It'd be better to go in with equipped to do 100 great presentations instead of start terrible and then end up amazing at your 100th one. What if you start pretty good? On number one. And Rebecca asked, when you say third-party tools, what are you talking about? I'm saying when you're face-to-face, if you say, let me show you this video that's 3 minutes long. When you're face-to-face, let me show you this presentation overview. When you're face-to-face, let me show you, here's a copy of the compensation plan of how it works. When you're face-to-face telling a story. See what I mean? Face to face. Let me get somebody else on the phone. Have you talk to this other person? All the third party, STEPP, the third party resources, even when you're face to face with your prospects. Now, if you're sitting down with somebody else's prospects, I'm with Pete and he just brought Leif as his prospect. I can be the direct presenter. I can be the information for Leif. Pete won't. He's going to be using me as a third party resource. This is again about duplication. We'll be talking more about that.
Hey, great question. Hey, I'm just curious, in our VIP room right now, who in the VIP room is currently, like, coming into today, a member of Certification Mentorship? Just write Certification Mentorship in there.
Or just put the number 3 in the chat.
There's a reason I'm saying Certification.
Okay,
Mentorship.
go ahead.
Certification or mentorship, not 3. I want to see if you're a part of Certification or Mentorship. The other question I have is I want to know if you've decided to join presentation. You're in. You've decided to join. Say in, and if you're like I am in the next day or two, say I'm going to join. In or I'm joining. I'm just curious of our VIP room. Okay, we got a lot of people in. I'm going to join. I'm joining. I'm joining. I'm joining. So we got some in, some joining. Cool. I love that. I just wanted to see. Let's go to Maria, Eric. We got 3 questions.
Hi, Maria.
So far.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this. Quickly, I'm a big believer of having the number of presenter in your organization will also dictate your success big time, me and my husband. So my question is, how do you motivate or inspire your organization to practice? Because of course it will require practice to make it happen and thank you again, this amazing training.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You know why? You know how? You have to give them a presentation. You have to give a presentation to your existing team to persuade them to practice. You got to give them a presentation to give them a structure. You got to tell stories. You've got to use humor. You've got to plant the vision. You've got to do all the different things that we're going to be talking about in this program in order to be able to influence your team with your words. Not just enough to lead by example, even though leading by example matters. You've got to give them a presentation that will cause them to do the practice. So Pretty Little Speeches Change the World. That includes talking to your team to persuade them to practice, right? And then, of course, give them structure, give them accountability. Could you create a presenter school with everything that you learn? There's lots of different things you can do. Could you recognize people that are doing presentations? Can you give them some prestige, special chat groups and perks when they step into a presentation skill set? A lot of those different things, but it starts with you have to give a presentation that causes them to do it.
Let me give you a baby step that can help you. I believe that I think the replay is available for 24 hours. VIP, you've got lifetime access to that. Is that right, Rachel?
Yep.
24-hour replay. So here's what I would encourage you to do. I would encourage you want to let them practice? Tell them to go watch today's training and do the homework assignment. We're giving you a way to practice. Do you realize me, Eric, and our team are going to go watch all of these videos? We're going to go watch them and find the one who's the most powerful. That's the baby step in everybody who hears my voice, getting all of your team to start the practice today. Why wait till tomorrow? Say, go watch this training, and I want you to go, every one of you to go do the homework assignment today. I want somebody from my team to win this. They didn't have to be here live to participate in the homework assignment. There's a baby step for you, all of you. Who would do that? Who would send that to some of their team? Write the word team in the chat. Write the word team in the chat if you would send it to them and tell them to do the homework assignment. Gordon, how about you, sir?
I haven't seen Gordon since the poker room.
That's right. Good to see you again.
Let me tell you a story about Gordon. So Gordon and I know each other a long time. I'm at the Venetian here in Las Vegas, and we're both going to play this poker tournament. He said, just the last second, say, well, why don't we swap 5%? I'll take 5% of anything you win. You take 5% of anything I win. Well, guess who won the tournament? for $340,000 or something like that is what was the winner of the tournament. How much did I send you? Like 17 grand or something?
16,000 and something.
Wow.
I want payback, dang it. I want to win some tournament. I want 5%.
I've been investing in Eric ever since.
All right, go ahead.
My question is, crafting my story, I'm struggling. I started 28 years ago, had some success, quit 10 years ago. Life got in the way, and I'm restarting now from zero at the very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how do you craft your story?
Yes.
Here's the good news. You can restart your story anytime you want. Anytime you want. So what was your background prior to getting involved in network marketing?
I was a CFO.
Was it fair to say that in network marketing you dabbled?
Yes.
Okay. So and we could work with this, but I'll give you where I would go with it. If you're talking to Catherine, for example, my background is I was CFO, and there were challenges with being a CFO, and I was looking for solutions, and I found one in network marketing, but I for whatever reason life got in the way. So to say I was a dabbler would be accurate. I kind of dabbled around, and if you dabble in anything, you're going to get dabbler type of results, right? And that was painful to be a dabbler. It was painful as a CFO, and it was also painful as a dabbler. And I found something that caused me to move out of being a dabbler and into being a serious player. And it got me so fired up and excited that I got myself in a position where I'm not allowing life to get in the way of my contribution in the future. So now when I get up in the morning, I don't feel guilty for going at 20% of my potential. I don't feel like I'm ready to go back to CFO stuff because I just can't do it. I found something that has inspired me so highly that I'm taking action that I normally would have avoided. So something down that road to play with.
I like that.
Love it.
Yeah. So again, you can craft it any way you want. And is anything that I said there inaccurate?
We muted him.
No, it's all accurate, right? So fine. I would don't ever make up a story that's not real, because you don't have to. Some people say, well, I wanted to be the one-legged person who climbed Mount Everest without oxygen and then skied down the hill because that's the only way that I could have a story that would be interesting. It's not true. Every one of you has a story that would just absolutely blow people away. So don't worry about having to create something, because you don't have to.
I love that. Hey, guys, tomorrow, we're not done, but tomorrow I'll give people the ability to raise their hand that have not gotten coaching from Eric, or from me. So we'll give those people the chance to raise their hands first, and then people who've already gotten it can come after that. But we'll do that every day and answer new questions every day. Is it Loic?
Yes, Loic. Yes.
Go ahead.
So my question is, Eric, Pete, can you tell us your story?
Well, my story would be different today, right? So if I went back at the beginning, is I left high school, barely escaped high school. I had 18 jobs before getting introduced to this business, and I was scared. I was really scared that if I didn't figure something out soon, I was going to be a minimum wage person for the rest of my life, because I did everything you could do in minimum wage. And I'd started a family, and I was already behind on my promises. I was already, my family was looking at me. Am I ever going to figure things out? And I needed something to get some traction on, because I felt like I needed a break, but the truth is I needed to change. And I found a solution for me that would be patient with me, that would wait for me. I found a company that I could start part-time and work myself into full-time. I found a support system that would help me because I had lots of challenges mentally in figuring out my life. I hadn't finished anything in my life. And I found a support system that would cause me to become a better version of myself. I found a company where I could earn while I was learning, right? And now when I get up, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I'm not worried about my family. I know it's just going to take time in order for me to take the opportunity that I have and develop the skills that I need in order to be able to have the future that I deserve. So I'm excited today. When right before this, I was just scared to death. My dominating emotion was fear that I was going to live a tiny percentage of my life. And I'm so grateful that I found this opportunity where I don't have to do that. That was my story back then, right? So, and so again, think about how you would apply that. Like for us, it doesn't really matter. That was my why network marketing story. Truly, going from being afraid to being hopeful and having a vehicle. I mean, because I was hopeful through all my 18 jobs, but I didn't have a vehicle. How much of an opportunity was there at Denny's? Yeah. There just wasn't that much of. If I became the manager of Denny's, and the ultimate job, that would have been the worst thing that ever happened to me. Because I might still be at Denny's and the regional manager now. That'd be terrible.
I'll share what if I were to join a network marketing company today, and I was in a company today because I'm all of a sudden around Eric and I'm like, man, this profession is just unbelievable. If I joined a company today and I was sharing my personal story, I would do something like this. I would say, hey, I don't know if you know this about me, but actually I had to figure out how to get in pay for college myself. I had a terrible relationship with my dad. And when I went to college, he couldn't pay for my college education. He wouldn't give me any money, but he said he's going to buy me a car. And he bought me a car. I showed up on college campus. I was begging and pleading everywhere for Pell Grants and loans and trying to find any type of money I could. And I was able to figure it out with my grandmother's help and some friends' help. But then all the day, I got a partial tennis scholarship, and I started to feel okay, but I was very afraid that I wasn't going to have enough money to get through college. And then I show up one day to go to tennis practice, and the car that my dad bought me was repossessed because he hadn't made the second, third, or fourth payments. My tennis rackets were in there. Everything was in there. And I was literally crying on the college campus trying to figure out how I'm going to make this. And I got introduced to a friend, and this friend back then introduced me to a network marketing company. And I got to tell you, it changed my life. Not only did I start making more money than my college professors, I had no financial issues. My college education was okay. I started investing at 21 years old, and it really changed my life. Now, here's what I want you to know. I have not been in a company in 20 years. And a good friend just recently came up to me, and he talked about this innovation with this health company. And I took a look, and because I'm an entrepreneur, I didn't know if I'd ever go back into the profession. I love the profession, but he introduced me to this new thing, and it blew my mind away like nothing has in 20 years. That has made me decide to step back into the profession. And I want to introduce you. I want to tell you a little bit more about this. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm giving the credibility to what the profession did to me in my past, and I'm showing the power of how now 20 years later, I'm getting back into it because something has caught my attention. Most people I would share that with would pay attention to me and at least have a deeper conversation. So that's what we want you to do online. Gina, we're going to go maybe 3 more, Eric, and then we'll get the rest of these tomorrow too. Gina?
Good afternoon. My question is, can you tell me a little bit more about tracking when we do our presentations, especially around telling our story? This is something I have not done, and I'm really intrigued about using this and tweaking it to grow my business.
And what do you mean by tracking specifically?
How many times they share it?
Yeah, like I heard earlier you were teaching about we should track more when we do presentations or sharing our story to be able to directly correlate growth in our business or how we move in our business. I've never done that or never even thought about it. So I just was curious if you could tell us a little bit more about that.
I wouldn't get too hung up on it. Here's what I would tell you is we're in the exposure business. We're going to go from exposure to exposure to exposure to exposure. Your story is, or somebody else's story is an exposure. Some sort of tool or some sort of event or the product or another person. Those are all exposures. So you might want to track, once you're in conversation with somebody, how to track where did you leave the last one. And the last conversation I told them my story. The last conversation I showed them this tool. Last conversation I invited them to this event. See what I mean? I'm old school, so I just write stuff down. Once I start a conversation with people, I write it down and I just try and remember where I was. What I do a lot more today than I ever did is I make a note in their contact information and I set a reminder for when I need to go back. And then before I go back, I look at the note that I left from the last one. And then, so I know not to do it again and repeat it. And I also can track. I mean, in your notes, you can go as long as you want to go. I've gone through 4 exposures. It was these exposures. They tried the product. I told them my story. I told them somebody else's story. I showed them a video. I had them attend this event, right? So I can look through what might be next. So make a note in their contact, set a reminder for the future. I never thought I would actually use this, but my team forced me to. And then now I can't imagine not using it, so this is what I use, but I still, honestly with you, I like legal pads. I like journals.
I mean, don't make it complicated, because if you make it complicated, you won't do it. But
it's not about the tracking that's going to make the difference. That's just giving you some anecdotal stuff to be slightly more professional. I'd rather you just put in massive quantity and figure it out. And you might get to the point and say, "Have I told you my story, Gina?" And just and she's gonna say, "No, you haven't." "Oh, well, let me tell you my story. If I told you, do you remember it?" "No, let me tell you again." It's 60 seconds. You know what I mean? You just kind of release all the structure and just know that you need to talk to more people.
Modeste?
Modeste. The E is silent.
Modeste.
Modeste in French.
Okay.
Got it.
Big fan, big out. My question is about presenting the opportunity. So I know you said about plug and play. Was it just you adapting to the Top Winners framework, or what was the challenge for you, breaking it apart and being able to master it to make it count for you and grow your business?
Well, back then I realized that it started with one person did the whole presentation. And then over time, we decided to have 3 people do presentation with a host, mostly as a leadership development tool. One person would do the company, one person would do the products, one person would do the compensation plan, and a host would hold it all together. A host would introduce those 3 people, and that way we got more people on stage saying some of the words. And then we had testimonials as well. So in every presentation, we had lots of different people involved. And if they were involved, they invited more people. If they were involved, they had a little more credibility with their team, and they learned some skills. So that's how we did it. Over time, I separated it into 5 sections: product, company, compensation, support, timing. And you can add testimonials with a host on that as well. And it keeps it snappy, So for me, if nobody would trust me to do a full presentation in front of a room of their prospects at the very beginning, no shot, too risky. I could go screw it all up. But if there was a host up there that was sharp and I did the product part of it and I screwed it up, they could say, "Eric, that was his first time. Give him a round of applause. Let me fix all the stuff that he just screwed up." They could fix it afterwards. And so that worked for me in a live environment, but it can also work in a Zoom environment. So I like that as a developmental tool over time. It doesn't have to be. Most of the time today, there's one presenter. nowadays. And it's just those superstars, and there's not really a developmental program. So I think we got time for one more.
Let's go to, I can't see what it says there.
Yeah. Hi. It's Sodron, something like that.
Oh.
How do you say it?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Solron.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, my question is about the assignment. And because it's, you say it's about sharing your story on Instagram. And I work actually in, my English is not my language that I work in. So it's Faroese, where I have my customers, and Icelandic is my native language. So I have lots of Icelandic and Faroese friends on Facebook. So I think it will be a little weird for my Instagram account to suddenly make a presentation in English and then tag you. So how can I make it
here's what I would say. Your English is fine. Just do it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And all you have to do is just say, "Hey, I know I normally don't talk in English, but today I'm going to."
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. You know, like I say, it's just do a little pivot. Not hard, not a problem. And I also say some people, well, I don't do anything on Instagram. Well, do it on Facebook then. They're both connected. They're owned by the same company.
Okay, great.
Wherever you got to do it, just do it, right?
Yeah, because
for the practice of it.
It's easy in the language that I use.
100%. I know but the foundation of your story will still be fine. And yeah, just do it just for our sake so we can hear it.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey guys, as we bring this back up, I'll give Eric the mic to close. But final things right here, if y'all can bring those slides up. Just remember, here's the 4 things: over $8,000, close to $9,000 of value. You get the full day on April 29th with Eric, myself, Lisa Nichols. You will build those 5 presentations out. Somebody said, "Will I be better?" For sure at the end of that day. There's not even a question unless you're not present and you don't show up and do the work. Everybody who comes will go up a notch in their presentation skills.
Let me ask you this. How much did presentation skills make you in your life?
Over $100 million. My companies.
I mean, it's not a $8,000 thing. It's just huge. I mean, you figure this out, you can move the world. This is the lever to move the world.
It is.
For real.
You get the templated decks and scripts that I will be doing a training on the decks, so you know exactly what to do to build out your own, because it's going to be templatized, and then you can just plug and play your stuff in there. You get the one-on-one business growth audit, and you can tell.
This is real one-on-one.
It's real one-on-one business.
One person with you.
Really going to be mapping out a game plan for you of hitting your goals. And then don't forget, you're getting the $1,500 credit. So if you're not part of certification and mentorship, tell that growth guy or gal, I want to be a part of that. But if not, take this as your step, and then you get the shot. Every one of you will not only share your story on April 29th, you'll also share it again this fall for our GoPro Speak Off, and you will be better then. And from that, we will find our top people who will be on the GoPro stage. You get the Q&A with Eric. And for the first 100, and I wouldn't be surprised if by tomorrow we have our first 100, we'll have $1,500 credit that goes towards certification or mentorship, which makes this program nothing to you if you use that $1,500 credit.
Nancy's thinking of joining, but needs to ask more questions. How does she do that?
Nancy, if you just go to your dashboard and click on Talk to a Program Advisor, or if you have a payment question, talk to our payment experts, our billing expert. They'll take care of you. The rooms will be open whenever we dismiss here in a minute, and they'll take care of you. So make sure anybody else that wants to do that on your dashboard. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to take these presentations and make money and make impact.
You know what I'm annoyed by? I'm annoyed by the fact that Pete, I never realized, is taller than me. Like, what the heck, man? How did this happen? Like I need a booster. I'm not a short guy. Anyway, I hope you got value today. That's our goal, is give you value. And I hope you see it's the hair. It's the hair.
It's the hair.
I hope you see a path to a better future. for you. That's what this is about. Like I said at the beginning, whether VIP or not, I didn't come here for all of you. I came here for some of you. And for those that are going to tap me on the shoulder, virtually or in person at some point in the future and say, guess what? I'm one of the best in the world now. It didn't take that long. And it changed everything, changed my whole life. Okay? So I'm excited for you. And this is day 1 of 3. We got 3 days where we're going to be talking about this. It's going to set everything up for April 29th, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait to spend a full day with you and really dive in to be able to make it all happen. So I'm excited. Get yourself set up. Go ahead and take that step. And I can't wait to see you all tomorrow.
We'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get your homework done and get registered. If you have a question for an advisor, just go into the rooms. We'll see you guys tomorrow.